Well, Jeff, it was arguably a successful tour, coming home with $3 billion in an aid package from the UAE. Of course, the government is trying to deal with a budget deficit to the tune of almost $23 billion. And remember, the markets reacted quite negatively when Egypt rejected World Bank and IMF proposal to help solve that problem. And they said, basically, we don't need it, and we'll try to get it in another way. Basically, local market issuances and foreign aid from the Arab world as well. Keep in mind that this is a very important time for Egypt. This is a test for democracy and, of course, a test for the Arab world, really. We've heard a lot from foreign investors about the long-term prospects of Egypt, the good long-term prospects for Egypt. However, this short-term transitional period is really keeping a lot of investors at bay and is keeping them very anxious as well, not just about where the country is going, but also about the fate of elections, about institutional and legislative reforms that are necessary when you're building a new civil society and a new democracy. So I was able to sit down with the Egyptian Prime Minister Essam Sharaf actually at the airport before he left for his flight back to Cairo, and here's what he had to say.
We are committed because the government and I personally believe that the only way to have a new Egypt is actually to have a democratic Egypt. You know, before 21st of January, we had a good economy, but we didn't have a social justice. The why we accept this situation, unbalanced situation, because there was no democracy. So democracy actually will set the stage for a whole new Egypt. And with a good democracy, there will be a good economy, and there will be a growth, and also balanced by social justice. And being a democracy in this area will actually help or actually encourage a lot of countries all over the world to deal with Egypt, and to utilize Egypt as a leading country as it used to be.
But the security situation in the country is still very fragile. More protests are expected for Friday. Are you worried?
When we received we started our government, there was no security, no police, simply as that. So we are building this institution from actually scratch. Things are much better. And about the demonstration, this is a right for everybody to demonstrate, as far as it doesn't, harm other people or cause damage to buildings. It's their right, and we respect that. And we in several events, actually, I benefited a lot from the what comes out of this demonstration, because it tells us, are we going okay or not?
Other countries have had issues with accepting money from the IMF and the World Bank because of the strings attached. Why did Egypt say no?
Well, no, it's actually, we have a principle that we said we try to depend on ourselves, and we try to work it out this way. This is one thing. The other thing that we want, we are a transition government. So what we want to do is actually not to commit anyone coming after us to things like loans and things like that. I believe we did a good job to have the budget with less deficit, with more to the social justice, and also with more investment, but not as we wished, but we tried to actually use our capabilities and things in our hands.
And that was Egyptian Prime Minister Essam Sharaf then speaking to me earlier. Remember, the Egyptian stock market, as an emerging market, has lost over 20% year-to-date. The Egyptian pound is flirting with the 6 Egyptian pound mark against the US dollar. A quick note on the upcoming protests, which have been planned for a very long time, and the expectation is that there will be a very large outpour of support for those demonstrations. There have been clashes in Tahrir Square again that injured many on June 28th, and again there's a lot of anger in the streets and disappointment about the pace of reform, the speed of transition, and of course the sluggish path towards trying former regime officials.